Hello, team. Welcome. Look in my eyes. What do you see? Episode number 3. And if you got that reference, you get a bonus point. Personally, I was introduced to the song through CM, Chicago Made Punk. But if you are a Living Color fan, congrats as well, because they are a very cool band. And the song's amazing. Maybe more relevant today than it was when it was released. Or I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. And today's class is a conversational class about culture. And unless you sit around looking at a blank wall all day, and then you would probably be a member of the wall staring culture. You have been parts of different groups, be it from where you were born, your family, your interests, what you were exposed to, the sports you played, the TV you watched, the friends you have, and with all of these different little circles, when you add them all up, that's you, and that's who we are, and it's something worth talking about. And personally, I'm a big fan of diversity. I love what makes people different, and especially if something is curious and weird. It is usually the most interesting facets of people's personality. So, what we're going to be talking about today is culture. And I've already started with something that I miss from when I was young, which is a TBC bacon bagel, especially if it was an everything bagel. That was my favorite. I have lived in Belo Horizonte for half my life now, and there are two things that I really miss about New York. Number one, subway system. There's a lot of hills in Belo Horizonte. You would really love a subway. And the second one are bagels. They had bagels in Verde Mar for like a month, and then they stopped. So bring back the bagels. That's my request. And my first challenge for you, the warm up, is to think about a culture you have experienced and to talk a little bit about it. And I am going to mention one that is right up here, which is about D&D. I am proud of my nerd heritage. Since I was young, I've loved everything fantasy. There's swords and dragons. I love it. And something unique and interesting about it, I think, is the hero archetype. Because fantasy and science fiction, it is all about overcoming insane obstacles. And whether it's a dragon, whether it's some warlord, some wizard, necromancer, whatever it is, it's always about something that you say, that's impossible to beat. And it's not to say that dragons are real, but it is to say that dragons can be beaten. And I think that is something unique to the fantasy genre. And what did it bring you? I think that. And I see a lot of quotes. There's usually some wise mentor at the beginning of the book who usually gets killed early, and they'll always have some memorable quotes. But it brought me not only that, but some of my best friends. When I moved to Lagoa Santa, I saw Marcos, Japonês, and Leco, and they were going to photocopy their player sheets for Dungeons and Dragons. And so some of my best friends today come from playing D&D. So that's what it brought me. But team, how about you? Which culture have you experienced? Have you traveled somewhere? Are you part of some group? Do you play some sport? Do you participate in some activity or group? Whatever it is, share it with us. What makes it so? And our main objective here, it's a cultural debate. Keep it nice, no fisticuffs. But let me pick a couple to talk about. Big lunch and big dinner. It's an easy one. In the United States, we have a big breakfast and dinner culture and kind of a quick lunch. And that's why in Portuguese, we say lanche. It's usually kind of a snack because in the US, our lunches are usually smaller. And me, personally, I love having the big lunches because I work out in the afternoon. It's one of the privileges of working as a teacher. Nobody wants English class right after lunch. So I'll be able to, get a really big lunch, usually one plate just of cold salad, one plate protein and all the other good stuff. And so I like big lunches. That's my pick. One more. Let me see. Mandatory voting and optional voting. It's a good one. And in the United States, voting is optional. Here in Brazil, voting is mandatory. And I'm gonna have to go with the U.S. on this one because it's great. We're in a democracy. Every adult and some teenagers who choose to, they're sorry, they are allowed to vote, but I don't think it should be mandatory. That doesn't seem democratic to me. If I don't have an opinion, if I don't know whoever it is from whatever city, who they are and what their plan is, I should not have to pick a side. So I'm not a fan of mandatory voting. That's my pick. And conversation starters, let me pick one. Ooh. What is something particular of your family's culture? One thing that I have noticed, I guess, when my mama, she has a big family. She had 7 brothers and 7 sisters, so there were 15 total. And I have noticed when they get together that everybody keeps busy. I think it's part of my family's culture that feel at home, but in your home there's stuff to do. So somebody's always washing the dishes or preparing the meal or helping with the kids. So I have noticed that in my family nobody gets to just sit down. No free lunches, as we say. And maybe something more fun. We like pão de queijo with a roast pork, pernil, at Christmas, especially with my aunt's farofa. So it's always something to look forward to at the end of the year. But I think there are other families who enjoy this meal as well. So a faux pas, it's a good expression of the week. It's a party foul, something you're not supposed to do. And your challenge. So find a partner who is from a different culture than yours. And remember, it does not have to be about where you live. It can be if you are interested in pagode and I prefer rap. And it can be that I am going down the path of the entrepreneur and I do not want to go to college while you are studying for 5, 6 years in a formal education. There's no wrong answer to when we say a different culture. But the whole point is this, to ask some questions. And there is a phrase, I do not remember where I heard it, but I love it, which is that, no, I don't believe the same as you, but I am happy that you do. So, find out these different things. Thank God, we're all very different. And it's what makes this place so interesting. So the best way to learn why people like different stuff is to ask good questions. So combine the English practice with some curiosity and some honest curiosity, and I'm sure you will have some fun. All right, team? That is it. Thank you. This is the link to the song that I tried to sing unsuccessfully at the beginning, but that's it. And I will see you in class.